Hey yo, what is going on guys, Cash and Clean here, and for today's video I just wanted to go over the boost combination stuff and just what all that stuff means. I'm not going to go into specifics on how to get good gems or how to build specific classes because I have videos talking about that which I will leave a link to in the description, so feel free to check that out if you're stuck. But right now I want to go over the gem boosts in particular. I think I've made a video about this in the past, but it's a little bit outdated. I guess not really outdated because it's the same thing, but it's been so long. So I'll just make an updated guide for it. So come over here to a gem forge. You might see it in a club that you're in. If you're not, feel free to join this area. A link for that will be in the description down below as well. Or you can just ask in global chat and see if there's a max club out there that somebody can invite you to. But chances are you can either craft this from the builder's crafting bench over here, but you might just find one in the club. So I would recommend that. So when you open it up, you can just check out your gems. You can see where the boosts are. You will get all 3 boosts at level 15. And for whatever reason, if you're level 15 or higher and you only have 2 boosts, then you're gonna have to replace that gem because you're missing out on extra stats and you do not want that. So make sure you're getting stellar gems, eventually crystal gems, and make sure they have 3 boosts. Your lesser gems, don't worry about this unless you played back in 2015 where that was a huge disaster, but empower gems have a chance to be a 2-star. If you're unsure, just level to 15, or if it's higher than that, check if it has 3 boosts. But anyway, let's get on to the specifics here. So your gems have percentage values, and it can go up to a certain amount. So empowered gems will have their own, and then lessers will have their own as well. And we have all of our augmenting stuff down here, and then we have our rerolling stats over here, which I'll get into in just a second. So the builder's rough focus, this will increase the percentage a little bit, but there's a couple things to note. If there's no boost, so these are the boosts over here, people call these pearls, they actually aren't called that. The pearls are referring to the stuff on the gear, whereas these are something completely different. But I can see why people would say pearls, it's pretty much like that. But that's not the way you're supposed to say it. So these are diamonds or boosts. I just say boosts, that's pretty much, that's just really easy, universal. I'm not 100% certain on the value of each thing. And then it's going to be a little bit more with the builders and the superior over here. So the superior will bring it up a ton, and then the builders will just go up a little bit. And if you're wondering how to get these, you just go over here to the adventures crafting bench. There's a gems tab, and you have the options down over here. You will need a ton of bound brilliance though. I highly recommend getting the builder's precise focus. It's like, it kind of just averages out. If you can, go for the builder's superior, but it's going to cost you Titan Souls, Diamond Dragonite, which you guys probably will need on top of the bound brilliance, so maybe not worth it, and it's a lot of flux, so it might not be affordable. So the idea of your gems is you want to try to get it to 100%, and this is only for your perfect gems. Do not waste this on your radiance, do not waste this on gems you're going to replace later on. Ideally, you want to start with your cosmic gems, and you want to focus on light. Now, if you have boosts on the gem, the percentages aren't going to go up as much compared to if there wasn't any boosts on it. I can't really explain the exact science, but I'm pretty sure you guys can paint the picture. If you're adding a boost, it raises the stats, and there's a lot of making up to do, if that makes sense. So you have to like compensate in a way. But either way, it's going to get to 100% regardless, but it'll take a little bit longer to do if there's boosts on it, so the percentage won't go up as much. And the way I did it is, we didn't really have the Cosmic Primordial back then, and there isn't really much to spend Diamond Dragonites back then, so I just saved up my Titan Souls and went for the Builder's Superior, and I just spammed that on all my gems. All the good ones, that is. But that's probably not too accessible for everybody, so the other option is to go for the Builder's Precise and spam that on as much of the gems as you can. It's not worth it to craft the builders because you're wasting bound brilliance, unless you don't mind using your bound brilliance, but it's time gated, so you don't want to waste it. If you're wondering how to get it, you get it from contests. So over here we have the classes, so Dino Tamer, you can get 7 over there, and same with the other 2 classes, and then you can also get them from down here. Weekly highest Paragon level, and with the specific class as well. If you're a brand new player, this might be a little bit challenging to do, but if you're a little bit further into the game, maybe even a mid to end game player, then I highly recommend doing this just so you have the time gated items. But like I was mentioning, just keep on collecting those items, keep on augmenting your gems, and eventually you'll get to 100%. And just refer to my spreadsheet in the description down below to get a picture of like where to spread out your boosts. The meta is 90315 for almost every single classes, so that means all of your cosmic gems will have boosts into light. Also, this is like as of me recording this now. I don't know if in the future they're going to add other stuff, but as of right now, just focus on light. So that's going to be for all of your cosmic gems. And then your other 3 empowered gems, 9 boosts are going to go into damage. So whether that's physical damage or magic damage. So 9 boosts there, and then you're going to have 0 on critical damage for the big gems. Now for the lessers, you want to have 3 of the boosts into damage, and then 15 into critical damage. Doesn't matter which gem has it, you just have to spread it out evenly to get that number. And the other thing I do want to mention is the reroll stats, so that's kind of how you're going to get these rerolls for specific boosts on specific stats. So the Contain Chaos Flare, this will move a boost, but I will warn you, I've seen people use this like 7 times on a stat and it just doesn't go to the spot that they want it to. So I recommend just collecting a decent amount of them. I guess 7's a decent number, but it's kind of a gamble. It could be super demotivating if you don't get it on the boost you want. Try to focus on getting stuff into light first, and make sure it's on a gem you're gonna keep, because if you waste it, then it's gone forever. You cannot get it back. And they're pretty time gated. The flares, the sparks, you get these from lustrous gem boxes, and you can also craft it, which is back at the adventurous crafting bench. But they take lunar souls, so that's also time gated. And I think the last thing I'll talk about for the Contain Chaos Sparks, I guess I kind of forgot to mention one thing, but you do need Glim to even do any of this, but it's not as bad. You're gonna get Glim from pretty much anything in Trove. That's a lie, but there's a good chance you'll be in a pin party at some point, so you'll get Glim that way, or you can buy it from the market, or you can craft it from the fishing stuff, or just fish. But either way, this is not a Glim guide. We're gonna talk about the Contain Chaos Spark. So this changes one stat. So if I wanted max health percentage, for example, then you can just change it right there, but you probably don't want that. So one of the big things I want to mention is that for the big gems, the damage stat, so physical damage or magic damage, can be swapped only on the big gem. So if you had one that's physical damage and you wanted magic, you can make that possible. You cannot have both at the time of me recording this, but you can have one of them. And something else to note, let's just pretend, I guess this is going to be kind of confusing, but let's pretend that you wanted physical damage here and this was, I don't know, max health for example. So instead of changing one of the stats to physical damage and then moving all the boosts, what I would recommend is make sure you don't have physical damage present, assuming it's a physical damage gem. So you would replace this with physical damage, because that's if you would want the 3 boosts there, and then you would swap the other stat with the physical damage, sorry, not physical damage, or the crit damage with your Chaos Spark. That way you save flares. I hope that makes sense, because it's kind of hard to paint the picture. But what I'm trying to say is, just pretend this is maximum health, and you want this to be physical damage, so you would just use the Contain Chaos Spark to make that possible. And you would still continue using this to change the stats that you want. Whereas the Contain Chaos Flares, these are more time gated, more difficult to craft, so you do not want to be wasting these on something kind of silly like that. If you're going to move 1 or 2 boosts, that's fine, you can use this flare. Or if you have a good empowered gem and you just want boosts into light, just make sure you're using your flares on that. And I've mentioned this a bunch of times already, but I highly recommend, and I hope you do it, but make sure you use these on the gem that you're going to keep, because if you replace it, you cannot get this stuff back and it's going to be super annoying because they're time gated. So I hope that makes sense. There's a couple things, maybe not a couple. There's one thing I do want to note, because there is an important day. So on Wednesdays, without Patron, you can get up to 3 lustrous gem boxes just from doing dungeons. And if you have Patron, you can get up to 6. So the way this works is that it's pretty much based off of like a timer, I'm pretty sure. I don't know why I said I'm pretty sure. I'm 100% certain. It's like a timer based thing. So after, let's just say like half an hour, you get 1 lustrous gem box. Then after maybe an hour or an hour and a half, you might get your second one. And then a little bit later, you'll get your third. So if you don't have Patron, you're going to get them 1 at a time. And then if you do have Patron, you'll get them 2 at a time. So you should hear the drop 3 times and they'll just go straight into your inventory. Or actually, I think it's in your claims then. Wait, I don't even remember. I think it just goes straight into your inventory. But Patron does help out a lot. It's only on Wednesdays. And then sometimes, like you see on the side over here, complete an adventure and you get 3 empowered gem boxes. They have something similar to this on Wednesday for lustrous gem boxes, where you level up a gem and then you just get lustrous gem boxes. So simple as that. And I guess one more thing I'll mention is the tome for the Book of Bound Brilliance. You definitely want to get this because it's a weekly tome. You get 5 a week. These are time gated, so do your best to craft this and then you can begin augmenting once you get at least 1 perfect gem. And if you're unsure if your gem is perfect or not, then just refer to my link in the description for gems. And then I also have one for specific classes on how to build them. But yeah, that's gonna be it for today's video. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed. Drop a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I'll see you guys later.